Who's actually going to get the most out of a ceiling-mounted, motorized drop-down screen like this? Who can safely walk away? And does the price make sense for the average movie night? If you're standing in the middle of that decision, you probably already feel a little nervous about committing to a piece of gear that will be hidden in your ceiling and then spring into view whenever you press a button. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've spent the last few weeks watching a handful of people set up similar ambient light rejecting screens, reading forums where owners argue about the trade-offs between a fixed frame and a motorized drop-down, and even watching a couple of YouTubers walk through the exact type of ceiling cutout this model needs. The biggest hesitation I keep hearing is the fear of a wrong-size purchase or a screen that looks great on paper but ends up being a pain to use once it's installed. That's why I wanted to break down the everyday reality of owning the Elite Screens Evanesce Tab Tension B CineGrey 5D, 106-inch, before you click Add to Cart. First, let's talk about what makes this category different from a simple white wall or a basic pull-down screen. The CineGrey 5D material is designed to reject ambient light, meaning it can keep a picture looking deep and contrast-rich even when you're not in a completely dark room. That's a huge advantage if your home theater doubles as a living room or if you have large windows you can't or don't want to black out. The motorized mechanism also hides the screen in the ceiling, giving you a clean look when you're not watching, a feature that's especially appealing to people who want a sleek aesthetic without a permanent frame hanging on the wall. So, who should seriously consider this setup? If you already have a dedicated media room or a space where you can afford to cut a ceiling opening, the combination of ambient light rejection and the hidden motor makes a lot of sense. Gamers who play fast-paced shooters or sports fans who want the brightest possible picture during daytime matches will notice the difference right away. Families that gather for movie nights but can't fully darken the room will also benefit from the CG5D's ability to preserve black levels without the need for expensive blackout curtains. And if you love the idea of just pressing a remote and watching the screen glide up silently, the built-in motorized drop-down will feel like a small piece of home theater magic. On the flip side, there are clear reasons to walk away. Renters who can't modify their ceiling, or anyone on a tight budget, will find the installation cost and the need for a professional electrician to be a barrier. If you only watch movies once a week, the premium price of an ambient light-rejecting material and a motor might feel like overkill compared to a simple static screen or even a high-gain paint job on a wall. Also, if your viewing space is already completely dark, you won't be tapping into the core advantage of the CG5D surface, so the extra expense could be better allocated elsewhere. Now, let's dig into the practical strengths that actually show up after the box is opened. The tab tension system keeps the screen surface taut without the need for a heavy frame, which means fewer vibrations and a smoother image when you move the picture around the screen. The 106-inch diagonal size hits a sweet spot for most 4K projectors, offering an immersive field of view without demanding a massive throw distance. Because the screen is motorized, you avoid the dust and fingerprints that often accumulate on manually pulled-down screens that sit out in the open. Finally, the fact that Elite Screens is a US-based company offering a 2-year or 3-year manufacturer's warranty gives you a safety net that many cheaper alternatives lack. No product is perfect, and the weaknesses are worth noting before you commit. Installation is not a weekend DIY project for most people. You'll need to cut a precise opening in the ceiling, route power for the motor, and potentially reinforce the joists to support the unit's weight. That means you either have to be comfortable with a bit of carpentry and electrical work or you'll need to hire a pro, which adds to the total cost. The motor itself is quiet, but it does draw a small amount of electricity constantly while it's in standby, which might be a concern for the ultra-energy conscious. And because the screen is built to sit flush with the ceiling, you lose the ability to adjust the height or angle once it's installed. The position is fixed, which could be limiting if you later want to accommodate a different projector lens or change the seating layout. Real-world use cases bring those points into focus. Imagine a Saturday afternoon when the kids are doing homework on the kitchen table, the blinds are half down.